atiase. Oh, that's not the right word. Yeah, monchire me bro for kakra. Etienne, yawo one-on-one interview. Dear Madu Tuana the Echagu, yes. And then a Friday. But in the course of the week, no, yaka and some auro, yabubo boswa. But and then every interviewer me babeyano. Eka niyama uyen pipinia. Uyen pipini mapa. Interviewer and then every me babeyano. NPP bia beka say yes indeed eka niema ema NPP elusu the 2024 elections. NPP elusu 2024 elections na ejina niema auroso. Okay, I believe okay. I don't see Facebook udi obe to me abaho we nana kwame we dia ya na wetra edi atu amai inti yet still or yet ubetumi aba a Facebook WONTUMI TV live on Facebook and WONTUMI TV live on YouTube. Asama America me say near ema ye lusu 2024 elections no. We NPP near in some be a what say yes it can be any lusu elections no. Either say MPP any hunu yasabuka ana say eye propaganda no ena na anodin either say na Ghana for MP yen yasem etie ahead of the 2024 elections ana say NDC for succeeded with their propaganda na eye dabai enkomo eni yebedi na ene awie ye ba behwe edi eye National Cathedral enkomo National Cathedral enkomo this afternoon live on WONTUMI TV so edunti ene awie baby biara wo bia no hwese empo ubetwa volume no na watumi etie djubadie no ebi djubadie utia na also odi ahwe how far se empon komono said ye NDC for a painty picture no sa pepepe enana etia na NPP elusu elections NDC eba betna akunya no so na omo ebetna akunya no so no was it 7th May and the first gentleman of the Republic of Ghana President John Dramani Mahama ejina simpiesu eka say National Cathedral project no in fact no dia share a year edina ye Deloitte and Touche right or dia shobunsa say omo enye emu nhwehwemu but jubadie no or the shobunsa no start time na 7th May no show mo anim by the close of May ending say empo omode omo report no ebeba. Well, July busumimu edi yenyan nti yese report no aba from a year one of the best audit firms a year Deloitte and Touche report no aba na report no near yeti yes NDC for aya propaganda propaganda the audit firm Deloitte and Touche, one of the best if not the best ehwehwemu no omo ehun bibia eye incriminating omo ehun bibia chese echirese National Cathedral no akoye swimming pool na sikani nyina be 97 million. Omo edisikano. But in one breath or in another, there were the reports out there of a year financial malfeasance ne a whole crodeba. Enti na Kwaku ye bibia ewo ho. Ene ewie the lawyer for the National Cathedral project, or no, enoye lawyer for the National Cathedral project, board of trustees ne hu krodepa lawyer or no, ena legal matters regarding a cathedral and all that, and then or tonight you may so na yaneno atwetwe nkomo se empono ensem bia na ye tete no ye disika ayese no kura ben ena e wosa ensem no egina emu enti adai ma fidie no ena ha ebra ye ba begibre na ye rewra nkomo num enonti Charles Owusu Juana Esquire, the lawyer for the National Cathedral project. Enchekra yeneno ebetwetwenkomo. But adanso no Tabia herbal products. Yede omo ebetwetwenkomo ewujubedie so. Tabia herbal products. Yede omo ebetwetwenkomo ewujubedie so. Na empuru yansu ya pomode ya strengthen. But ansana me de lawyer ebeko nkomo no emu no. Me kai will say Emulate herbal supplements. Emulate herbal supplements. And yeah, Kantanka Pharmaceuticals. Any research center. And a day Emulate herbal supplement aba ejaso. Na Emulate herbal supplements. Yes, say for immune system. Any kwasibroni or say with general well-being. Enti we are would here Emulate herbal supplement no. The nearest pharmacy a ebeo ko na kope edroni bi akira kwan. Enya no nko ukọ herbal shop bi am na ukasa wo pe Emulate herbal supplementer. Omo bema wiato. Na immune system no wa wo the immune system no eyema ni pedua no. And the sample a free uti copy monase. Bibia beko ye ediama no. Eye Emulate herbal supplement ena ebeboa. Enti kona kope omo akira kwan na se kope drodi bi akira kwan. Ye ka apostle Kojo Safo Kantanka. Wa woni dada. Woni the apostle to me. Ediama wa ye ewo ye maimu ha no. Ese wani ensa o ka kire. No wasade aduro aye hwehwemu. Ma FDA for atum say drone ye aye Freddy Emulate herbal supplement o chede kona kopa apostle Kantanka na drone bi towate na wa odoma ube hu difference wo pe bia to na say wo pe ho asem bisa bia obetumi afra ho matrofo so number is 0535 112 813 0535 112 813 and I'll bet me a friend 0303 966 421 0303 966 421 from omo ebeje uso. Yawo Fosua men powder ewo ho. Fosua men powder. Hey, edrowi. Don't underrate a Fosua men powder. Sadye edi no esye no Fosua men powder. A powder for men. Nkomo sanke ni se michire mu bio. Wo ye bema. Na empo anajo nkomo. Empaso nkomo say ne weekend say thank God it's Friday. Wodi mi de ekobia pe eye fosua men powder ni bi na fa boost libido pe fosua men powder ni bi na so ye berima na ukoto adro ni bi abeka so adro no de na mema adro de adoso na un testi we ntia kola ko yusu bi hwe wa na ode America e de adanse e beba na fosua ko bites so ewo ho wani so ye wisi na nse utum se osisi ye oya koko konna kope eye fosua ko bites ibi edwa na beje edwa ne waje nkwa enti fosua ko bites ko na kope bi akira kwan ewo herbal shop bi emu oko pharmacy bi emu so awon sabe kabi Colinat ewo bi wo Crofrom Ashtown Crofrom ho Freddy Benz herbal ewo keo Apidank herbal ewo Ashtown Mrom ena fenso no eye Samdora herbal omunso ewo Kejetia Frahoma trofo so number no a obetumi from ewo so no eye 0244 17097 ena fe 0552 812912 into 0552 812912 Beba be call a year lawyer and chain na wakwakope a year Kivo 4-in-1 Gary soaking mix Kivo 4-in-1 Gary soaking mix me pacho pebia chira kwan dibi na usu be die fili Gary die efritete ye mem ha die Gary die mfa ni agro wunya Gary na sugar wom sugar kakra bi o enye say bruce bi a be ha kakra bi no wanya on kate anya milk me na na bro wase miliki na chese o Gary no you are ready to go pebia chira kwa FDF waje ato na nya no kuye wo Kivo hot pepper ewo ho Kivo meko shesheshe pa wo di go aduane mse wo yestiwa wa be say yes niema ekoye wo di gu nkwan mu a bibia ye kama enti Kivo hot pepper no so FDF waje atom no akwa pebia chira kwan. All right, WONTUMI TV so eni me kai obi o say jubadie no is streaming live on YouTube. Eye WONTUMI TV live on YouTube. Oko eye Facebook nso a epacho eye WONTUMI TV live on Facebook. Enti so shenen so sa emame. Na lawyer atnasi na chese yensebre ye ba be ko eye dwumadie no so akwa akodi nkoba no no enti maka kire se eye Charles Owusu Esquire atnasi ono in case you just tuned in ono ena oye National Cathedral lawyer na National Cathedral and simply the propagandas and all enti na lawyer wa hado dia mema na kwaba na yajebre ni yewura ensem no mu wakenkan niema bi on social media wakenkan bi on the net sad ye mani nyina ye bewrem baako na chese say propaganda in fact ye propaganda e dem yesa na ye cure ye mischief do ejina and right about now lawyer openi mema wa ha eba wakwaba
ye nua no adwuma pa ye mechia wotiefo nyina
good evening yes obo eje oso na pacho oso wapo mu eyede
nakopado
ye da nyamias nyamiadom meso me ho ye
ene na chese de abom
sa pepe lawyer eye be de pass wo ha be hye na sina ye de ye re enfida prior to a year 2024 elections no chese ensmp niete efa National Cathedral eho at a point in time demonstration because so abrantia and encourage the home na Ralph den nkofo na demonstration hub if I'm not mistaken na omo omo demonstration afa ho na omo kowie so omo ball ko swimming pool bi mu swimming ho kro de ba Chasa National Cathedral de ben sem ene yantiamfa ho but any what nasi me peso bia etiase enti se ye din komo ya asembisa abidi bedikaya National Cathedral ye dim say a baby of a year Nana to Dankwa Akufo-Addo, our former president. But to get a better understanding, lawyer, Chahun Funi Emai, National Cathedral, Loklado, a year day,
where?
Ena, a buy.
Where be Sebi? I send me the ISM Kessie Ukrum Ha, Yaji Hum Baby. Former president, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, Ena Tama, all call for the campaign for 2024 elections. 2016 elections, sorry, 2016 elections. Or share what says obey president. Obesi National Cathedral de Nyankopon aye. Ashenyame anu yam. Na at that time no so be kaya na nanado no nye president. Afi na no wo pe akonwa na tena so. And secondly no so Obesi National Cathedral. Wankasa Obesi Nanado Dankwa Cathedral. Ose National Cathedral. Enti no nyame so tie ni Bible. Ena Nanado be president 2017. Enti oye happen no so okay ene me what she dey me di so. But she said the be president. Enya campaign time bi. Enti ese me fa ne kwaso. Na me di fulfill sa me promise ya mai. Enti Nanado esiki opinion efi attorney general. Si attorney general me pacho. Ade ya me ka se me metimi aya na. And I say, oh yes, attorney general opinion trouble na say e kwanda ho. Se Nanado betimi ISR project no. One fan so esanso ko Supreme Court. Ema Supreme Court to for bua say oh. Ade ne dey state oye nyoma religious groups there. Yehu bebre. Sa nkofo eko haji national mosque. Yeah, so say government there haji for government support to them bia. Nti no dey enye nenko na nti no obetimi aye. Considering say it's for the benefit of the Christians. Nti nananso afa so oko for implementation. How obetimi implement sa na implementation mu no. At a point okay Nana obetimi aye but the obetimi aye ni ba say Nana betimi ama president no at that time no obetimi ama asase the secretariat no omo be ye office work ni aye no and afi seed money sebe no kasemina Nana do amasa ska we say why yes anyoma nyina dada asa na ofia be nemom say the Lucifer can one among folks still go with the idea say and Nanado na share nebo and I miss me be so almost say Nanado when we need election and National Cathedral kebeba sakeba or ye president inti and onya the mandate so obey National Cathedral it is all kind of sad no one can ye etino or yes anyoma we say in a way no so okay so that may we but me make sure say microphone be see National Cathedral are the best in the business. Into setting up to look for consultants may even advise on contractors about human. I say Ajayi. So Ajayi we see some monumental buildings around the world. And I buy no consultants do point when I'm okay. Rebuy. I say local content. Intino, I was a Ghana for companies come now for companies because Ghana for companies no money capacity to build such a edifice. Intino, 3 companies near do mobile near from omudini di animu. Letter ne di animu and near the bomb near rebuy. The rebuy no a consortium of contractors are certain shasi. Yes,
whereby near contractors no
contractors no omudino no so 3 contractors near yi omudina yeah they are form every one and you set up board the government here need the way no safi be set up board as a board we there and PPA omunye PPA creature but omu na be hwe be see National Cathedral in the board no mo set up no inaugurate board na fe board no show mo adwumase board no so afanso ye set your board no so set a review board to be a free jubilee ababia no dey am review board no say best practices are because no money PPA creature you say ade na e dey aba no e best conform with best practices and so on. That is how they went so far to make
sure. PPN, to understand PPN a Public Procurement Act.
Yes. Okay. They are not a creature of it. They don't have to conform to PPA. But government level, where the government was paying money, maybe another government need to come and conform. Our more consultants near any day. Let's say PPA. Ni na omo GPP approval. Asa no mutual says kanina. Everything was in order. So I say, Nemum, the Amasan same way say na abanene say. And san yebeko 2024 elections no. Opposition na omo in government enen. Omo the year campaign. It was a very painful and deceptive way of portraying the National Cathedral. I believe so at that time, maybe an officer, and no man and now do it. Be a bit catch up with Ghanaians. It's the MPP be win election. It's the end destroy Bibi and another in Sasumbia. Because that will be the only explanation. Because the seminar Mokafa National Cathedral, no, Minia. Say no crap, I say because okay, no credit Nkansah. And you know correct. Now, me who saw the National Cathedral site, at way in so what then was 25 meters deep concrete and I got down. Any steel.
Okay, yet Amanana yet.
I am one more two sana who is need surface one. I cut down 25 meters with steel concrete in Bibia. Into where a platform. Yes, we as a foundation, see there's a foundation. And Jaffe normal be left side one when your man will data boxes and go on be control a Bible museum. Cathedral Nkansah Cathedral is so. As a Bible museum woho. As a 350 seater restaurant woho. And say conference centers and a Bible garden. It's a very complex here base, and it's a base and be good enough to be able to handle the data and it's we say we na so because of the acrimony and then the lies. You do good National Cathedral, the board no so ni government in power near you no so nintino. One more na omuma sika omuma donations omujai and stall the progress of the now the former president almost shared any way no just say government in must seed money no ma assassin no ma secretary government why ndie I just from time to time government pa obey donations but it was now the duty of sir board for no say on the call round no ma ko jeje among farmer donations near their twaso it is annual money buy and just say astolo it way and almost say a swimming pool now mama sanfan ko another side minia say open so sit down so back of architect na architect ne bana so e na djuma obo say dan isi o dabi dan isi o but why any drawings ni nyoma wi so betua nika it architects so ko fa consultants so ko fa na dan bia hu say dan isi o but etua nka structural engineer what no about any bill of quantities yetuanika other enyoma ese ye ni nyina wo table so ansa ne de na Kwaku so ya ye ni nyina wi now according to calculation be 40% of the value of the edifice now be seen ekosa nyoma we say in Tokyo is a National Cathedral we for about 250 million yes you're spending 97 million it is consistent with architects and calculate music it is consistent they can say you be pages you no be who's okay cathedral no never a whole now feed the politics in our National Cathedral na be there and in one listeners don't wait and you say be a go be a disca and untiama KPMG for be adwuma ebe you am auditing you am accounting you am nyoma omo wie because of some nekoso na edema Dissolution tools for money forensic audit omo ye forensic audit wie no minia first report e ba ye no eno audit report o se bia wo ye una ye auditor na wo ye audit report wo so okay ma had mentias into trolete no report na dia come so mo answer ma min na sana me dia ko auditing eno and some ministers be as officials be coffee no to call report say momo and in some baby. The National Cathedral for the kai in response to the auditors requesting and they don't have come. And I'm really see a no public.
Wow.
Wamra na board no I responded to side here when you and sana the main audit no ever out. It in fairness minia. So be shame you no. Okay, I'm can say I'm beside question when mom say and sana ever report no. It report no honorable for Sukwachi e de beto dwano. Ba kokra ni audit Nkansah.
I had yes, ABA because the me person be who ABA ya bejebre na ma hwese de wo ka no e ho no sisubio because you can't Deloitte and Tush somebody no almost 76 page report sada ye hu say etie na esa make wo kan ade na bibi tisa ajaye de wo de me fa ajaye de na wo abosu Odona no ye architect
for ye consultant.
Osha report no back baby say there were procurement violations. Now a single source selection of Ajayi did not meet legal requirements and the Ghana's Public Procurement Act. The procurement committee was improperly constituted, lacking key members as mandated by law. And yes, I report here
because I've gone through it. Me raw Tama omo final report no mo de buy no na me ti obi. I was part of the board na yeti omo yini nyina. Every PPA me see yen trust no, they were not members of they were not a creature of the PPA Public Procurement Act, so they didn't have to conform, but almost set up a review. But Sikabia Jubilee House to try no echo for PPA approval because from that end and your public funds and private funds, because at the level of the board no private funds and ever but public funds ni na ko PPA but PPA am approvals ni na so one of the questions they wanted to a clarification say board no a contract some of the microphone in your manual and copy PPA explaining
it is 15.7 million now no more Nkansah call Ajayi associates no and no now can want some a different EB
I know American was me most of the payments was done at the top as a former board intermediate for PPA because then they are buying clear so seed money if you are buying one neighbor into Kwabiaso no I say for PPA approval. But board it did not need to go to a PPA for PPA approval because a public funds a private funds but even at that they set up a review of a 3-member committee to review every expenditure that they made to make sure say for best practices it conformed to payment of such monies to persons.
Lawyer, me say you cure some mischief na. In total, not just 103 or 113 million. I say you demand Ajayi no. No. Say
go through the right appropriate and I'm dika catch say obi tie no person here a destructive and a person or hardware or dintra no here obi catch us Ajayi kwadwuma be no here hotel and I'm me church say ansa na obesi dan o here an architect ni be ye adwuma say we see who said dan is so but obey adwuma but say my child say the National Cathedral encompasses the main cathedral, the Bible Museum, and the Bible Garden, and have a 350 seater restaurant and a conference center.
Nanke a koloboko, but sorry say be a jump Ghana 350 seater restaurant Lokrano. We shall report to at a point in time. No much less a Edokrane and Kaho. Now a added I'm trying to locate that and I'm shame, but it wasn't part and parcel of a year. Contract. I think that there was something. It's a person clarify. Report not just about one throw out. What can say and we are different from another one
because the only and say I was say a cathedral. I was say to me what I say until there must be a normal woman a be raise a be generate revenue for the development and the upkeep of the cathedral. It is our conference centers, restaurants, any the car so they be self-controlling. What I say? Now, I'm not for to be someone to say that I didn't private nanado there. I don't say oh yeah nanado there, but oh yeah documents now, incorporation documents now. Only the beneficial owner. National Museums and Monuments. Honor a beneficial owner. It is almost the thing was supposed to be for the state at the end of the day. The building and the construction stage, and they set about some oversee for the thing to be built, and that is where they could take in the private funds. But eventually, then we are a national museums, a monument, and a beneficial owner.
Who say initial propaganda? Nanado na akoshenebo, and just also obesi a sorry die. Ediama miyame se uwinia enti eno no nti no day na say omokofa taxpayer sika and there was
so many some baby can so many, but let us look at the flip side of it. National Mosque no esi Wednesday Kwaku di hono president Otisu say president John Dramani Mahama eno di mu akotene pa asase ne si mosu no abaya asase na squatters bear 1,200 and net asase so within 3 days the year free ho and you see government contribution here asase and other things that government contribute to here see president buy your mandate to buy also be Hajj village obesi also a couple 5,000 crofo eko Hajj buy betua also basically Hajj Islamic University to help the Muslims to develop themselves. Or sounds to basically Islamic Bank. Now all along, if you have many buoy, I think go Hajj and start buying support to. Omo yes and start buying support to. And yes Bonio, it is good for the government to support the religious societies for them to be able to hold their fort in terms of discipline for their members. Niti ye the Nkansah Cathedral and Christians women be nye. What you make an say? Yes, say oh, you find a community center. Any nature say oh a Nkansah Cathedral na ampe. Now person use for another thing. Nature say signaling one person Nkansah Cathedral, but the president buy him so we see by 7 months and say 8 months. We see 10 churches,
legacy churches or whatever
for assemblies of God. It mean feel say president not to he's against the building of Christian edifices. But them say encrophobia what party no and almost shene kutu almost manusa wrong advice no. But president only a two abama government so that it doesn't mute. Government there etwaso the seat no nipa na otia konwan so necessary. The president only a two abama no. It don't to National Cathedral so because the constitution does not allow for discrimination. Oh yeah my way so to me yeah my way. O say nanado tama all yeah free SHS no. Issues by amount say sikafo wo mo betu see there be. Who officer was kind of for no public private school. But obi obeko public school there say free. Because I recognize it say WONTUMI Nkansah sikafo money do omuntua na here for money into it goes against the constitution in the same vein. Say I know my way saying Ausaba be biasa ka ho biom ama Muslims no and Islamic microphone. It is proper and fair and legal. Say president to be National Cathedral no watu so no we for the purposes of the constitutional non-discrimination policy. It mean at the end of the day to say them kind sir throwing dust into the people's side to say they're okay. Because
point AAP, but I don't want to wait him.
In the press conference, okay, about a prophet Victor Kusi, 2.6 million beer. Ya de man, ya osia farmer no kwampa. Ya just kana man no kwampa person. And no, me making sure say because of the material later on, into making sure say any time be a make baby and me explaining. Now man fat because a man of God, what born a black could do baby. na obi akwa ka bibia enye no kura fa no na amanfo enya different perception about him. Papa no tama na board secretary no na rebuy for air co into construction. It turned out say no omusika nso a omobema mobilization no mako eno volunteers okay sadia obe support obe so mase by giving them a soft loan for about 2.6 million Ghana cedis. So the beya ombetimi do account so ko somebody am rebuy for no omde akọ site no mako akoye adwuma into yi sika no oyi sika na odema but I go through board approvals board e nyina e go through ansa na ye diska no ye dey ma a board na board ni ye dom diska no be ye the board ni saka mu sika no e na omuka say okay sa de ye ntua papa ni sika ma no e na omutua ne 2.6 million no ma ni nyina call board payment no call board approval bibia call board approval but e was outside ho say papa no no mu yi sika de mom a che say the mama tell me make sure say baby me do bia no make sa asemi ni say also the ba university of America Chinese ni onya Ghana ni o ohu ni ba no ka che ne ba ni say ni papa ye criminal ase ni say ya ni ba pa Kwaku wia National Cathedral for sika e wo Ghana na minia asemu ye didiwa e be ye wo de. Now a lot of people went on the radio, public address systems, and lambasted the cathedral for no good reason. Someone no can nyanya ntronkwa no crab back credit masa. So say o person o do pa frère Dissolution tooth frère Rabbi frère Ajayi o mi no mo ho na bisa o se masa adwuma na mo ye na ifa na mo de aduru sika na mo je no mo je no kwa ben so adwuma ben na mo ye am de je sika. I believe that they would have given you an extensive breakdown.
But tell me, no how much there's a project now stalled since May 2022. Na empo ejumana mo ye do na hwe nkoso and you owed contractors to the tune of 343 or 49 million bit na chese bo no ejumana na nye hwe na mo ye mo. I don't know what part say enu mu bi na prophet eyi sika sena odi atria
because of negative publicity nearby in it. After government in the seed money in a year, it turned out say fans in Nkansah microphone now promises some this cabeban almost story. They were sitting on the fence now, watching what was going to happen because they were saying microphone disca or me criminals or my say. It a lot of people held back their payments, and no. And the man, I didn't know, it slowed down. At some point in time, so one of the board, some of the board members resigned. It was the acrimony and the lies and the deceit. They could not stand it. And they had to resign. They had to leave the board. And yes, there was something going on the board at the board level now, and I said in the construction of the National Cathedral and a more resign. But they who said and some nan for car a form heat na air ban. They could not handle it, so they left. But after going through the documents right from the time of inception to today, Mitch Makacho say, "Sa so fu penyi for no moti was board chairman board members in here cap when say you trump 1,000 Ghana cedis almost city." There is no other remuneration apart from 1,000 Ghana cedis per city in the month. They are charitable. They have come from their retirement as heads of churches. And I'm so okay, na isi National Cathedral. They took it say a yankupo ejuma no moye. Because after all cathedral and Christian Ayana. Bible Museum never that as of bit macquarie research. And the Bible Garden open so called paye ne ibia bit macquarie. Apart from that, say president to be or a Christian so which now. I hear better than no. Forgot. Last year, say prayer day. Muslims do call a national mosque. Yeah, forgot. Say from maybe boy. And then so can see toya. And he pray and age na hine. It is about time that and some baby don't go for kind. In fact, at least said they should come and apologize. In fact, in my press conference, you when it is a campaign time, you can say whatever you like because you are trying to entice people to vote for you. But after that, so better government to so buying amount for tax can you are not entitled to lie to the people. I know the young it is not proper. It in some now be kind if you were and you're correct into some come back on some apologize. What did I make and I say? If na press conference, first press conference me and me kind, me so on some apologize because you know maybe he was misled. Most of them they have never been anywhere near the cathedral. What they hear is what they sell out there. It, you know, he was misled, and that is. But
okay, so I'm apologize here. ABOB ewa bonte obebi say no the omo aye Deloitte and Touche for aye issue no. Enti omo the omo report naba. And the oka say they threw it out there no. Cause there one confusion say there was financial malfeasance because our report no oka ya akwa say niema PB ankoye ewo ma oka say no throw it out no. Enti as it stands no bottom line, maybe as a report to the name say bisa ABO bisa nkonfo same part na etie.
Well, report to the day. Me the mekain there is no part of it that says there has been embezzlement of funds.
Okay.
What I say, some monies were paid and later on it was ratified, but the board approved it, which is a normal thing that happen in any board level, because board in the domushia once in a year. CEO na so UBB immediately. Obetimi aye na for the board na board for approval. So board na approval there, then it becomes a different issue. What the mechanism? But there was none like that. See, I take a decision be na board approval. A normal thing happened. And a secondary, audit in the the audit is the seat of deciding, say, whether there was malfeasance, there was misappropriation of funds, there was criminality, and the rest of it. They've gone through it. At the moment, nothing happened. Criminal body so OSP up to today, nothing. NIB up to today, these are all agencies they delve into whether there's criminality, there is corruption, there is misappropriation, and the rest of it. Nothing. And you know, trying to push and push and push. Just say, be by all means, because why actually? I don't think it is right.
All right, ABF na audio fidie na to aduma WONTUMI TV so enie na oko YouTuber WONTUMI TV live. I think we have a technical maybe with Facebook. I don't really know what's happening, but ubetumi ako YouTube na what joining or you streaming live on YouTube WONTUMI TV live on YouTube. And every I've been watching with video about to aduma opening a private legal practitioner na say no na oye National Cathedral. What National Cathedral who ensem p na opening a lawyer Charles Owusu Joanna udini sama body
Joanna,
yes or no oye lawyer for National Cathedral and propaganda ensem bia NDC for tugu ma mumubi mukojina no so na tu abade NDC sorry no sikande who call the banner lawyer mu na when the lawyer yeah twanko no so no watch them on report but by 18th July you hold man na you was a report biaba na no Felix Kwaku fusu government spokesperson and Odessa and Seminole ebetuja na me kai portion kitwe bi send you the buy here report no or say following a scathing audit report, President John Dramani Mahama has ordered the dissolution of the National Cathedral Secretariat and initiated legal processes to disband its board of trustees. The directives were announced by Government Communications Minister Felix Kwaku, who stated that the Secretariat was dissolved as of May 1st, 2025. And it goes on and on.
National Cathedral board company a company limited by guarantee. President Kwani so the only way you can touch them is to go to court and for court to make a ruling. It is yes, WONTUMI radio so that's what is overboard Now I believe Nanado, because of some of these things setting up in that way, Nanado could have taken 250 million which Ghana had at that time to build the cathedral and finish it. But because of a partnership between the church and the state, you know, and not setting up in the way he set it up. It won't mean and dissolve board on the star. I do court.
Now, almost any man.
Send in American. Court to swap. They are normal way to be their court. So my be bonny. Bibi bonny be anywhere my say, oh my bankrupt. You declare I'm bankrupt. Who call for liquidation. And now something has happened. Nothing of that sort has happened. Until the papa kind, a quick can be in the master. I also apologize because let it be uncle National Cathedral board for her say, even the process have started. Nothing of such sort. Into the two propaganda na ekosu said that to create that sort of darkness over the cathedral and the people who volunteered to come forward and build it. These are the things that I'm saying. It must stop. If government, they why any day there is no need for government to come into this thing because why any day why any day to the extent say wama seed money, wama secretariat, you know, and wama friend say a land, you know. They can say benevolent societies and Christians will now give their donations for the about Momo. Also Momo Zikabiaba and idea baby. Momo platform listed was set by ADB. No letters were ADB at Tromi. And I miss my response to some year. Sikana and National Cathedral for instance da. It never got into the accounts. In fact, AD4 report on the buy. Now 49 million of the Momo money now almost see a sending almost unsuccessful. The transaction was unsuccessful. But 750,000 per and a year successful. Me will be baby akoka say as a says can in abani who may be a scam. Because obviously the delusion tush for a query is adien. And a board a respond to it. Audit report nearby, you know. It was not meant for public consumption, but what they call public there, making sure say responses now on demand towards all these things, you know. And also the better public, na public who's okay, say na cathedral for an acre. But what they the lodge for the questions normally omubisa no queries sniper. Say it's not fair because Sir LNS Lodi Victor Kusi we no trouble said did they go through appropriate channels now. Responded. They responded.
Anyway, you know.
Sir LNS no Mr. Prophet Victor Kusi. They responded appropriately. Okay. It goes through the channel. It how come so baby do about the thing as if say hadie oman kashi. It's misleading and misrepresentation of the facts. Baby say okay, see ya dissolve secretariat now. On what basis now we dissolve secretariat? No, a company limited by guarantee. I will need the right to attach or affect your media. And in the media, at the end of the Akoswache. Akoso since 2002, at some point, some of the people who were on the board were threatened. They were threatened. Now, if the push comes to the shove,
threatened by who?
Yes, they were threatened by some politicians to resign or to stop the project, you know, from continuing. What did they make an say? And you know, and no more baby to impede the progress of the National Cathedral, but I don't think it is necessary for us to put these things out now. But they do baby near surface here the bar, the hypocrisy and the rest of that. We will have to bring them out for people to know. But
what can I say? No board Nkansah with prophets Kusikra the Yana Hokra Yamemobo.
Yes, that's the right statement to say.
Yes, the way mobile. See, say as it stands, I can say on dissolve a year secretariat. Abemu because dodo na dey free so asofo dodo na we am resign we ebikura hu no say omo so kra ebebu nkofo abem omo resign ye no na chesa akwa say den na ekoso adai bibi koso no bani enje ho ana na say said you watch him say President Mahama any sir right no puso be dissolve no say na say board no composition no ne omo a ewo so no how do they feel? Are they prepared to cry say empo they
are so determined to because I'm fan say Nyankupo Ejuma no mo as a software near Nyankupo Ejuma no so obekaya and san ye Kwaku break ground no for the National Cathedral na so mutu to Abrano. Nanado any a lot of pastors have be 30 say no mo ko. E no mo bompaye. No mo fa buo free
Israel and
oils dey no bompa no. Into fe say asofo no mushia o. Pabo no bo nyame anso. And there's a spiritual aspect of this thing. You can begin to think, say, a secular into candy ope. There's a spiritual aspect of it. So you so food dinners or so food no bomb pie there. So who say I'm passing Yankupo and the Chidian Empire because the project took off. But any time that you want to do something for God, that is where the problems start, because that is where the devil also operates in its fullest. When say it might win souls. Because for no person don't call hell. Or maybe we know mama into obey bia. The whole it is coming to the notice of the church, Ghanaian church now. Say and some Cathedral National Cathedral in and Yanokre. It Presbyterian for moderator. Now say say almost 25th General Assembly. Audit to that. To the extent say or see Christian domino get ready say be donations near the National Cathedral. Now some of Kwaku Canada on yadia the then say on the some of the cultural center near Yibian any day in man for ready said they will contribute towards the building of the cathedral. So you can see say there is a change in the now it is the change is coming because people are beginning to recognize say oh asama a car first and saying no cre. I didn't say a Christian for dia. And then I'm a radio station, be na me church, Mr. Massa. Yeah, Christopher. You believe say Jesus Christ in Yameba. Muslims also almost believe say Jesus Christ or a prophet. On Yameba. That is where we part company. Yeah, you're bonfire. You're born in the name of Jesus Christ. Almost bonfire. I'm call Allah straight. What I say. Ain't you know? A quabi asuno. See, I am omodia. I was see a man. But ye cried, you know, your donations here, they ban a door so saying they are buying a day ban. Hajj village near Ebisino, a fully government funded. And a terminal near they come on. It is because of 5,000 grofon every year or more Hajj there. Oh, we have terminal. I just want be fat terminal. It is part of the package for them to be away. It is here terminal. You hear National Cathedral. Said the bear very important personalities who cry. You between a cemetery ho yes your mom ye Christians. Said say I call you helicopter from ya our government officials. O matra helicopter so mo Kwaku ye dwuma ma ban. Ko ye dwuma ma ye. Ko wi. And they don't go forecourt. I was saying don't call National Cathedral honia on so we no omo ye dwuma ma ban no mo wu. Ye do omo call forecourt. Like I say always. Sen frama kakraka bi boya na kankofo na omko omgutira ho so ye Kwaku ye no na Kwaku say ache dudu
but lawyer but wo hide be person ye call layman no level pass say propaganda do there e bi adodo na the technicalities near the Deloitte and Tush ekumu no dodo na e bi omuntumi hu sikasabie I just don't want to bore them with that the man dodo na but otifia yes National Cathedral no would be so National Cathedral by 97 million US dollars and yasenke ewo the NDC for friend am name na chese empo what the bar a year cities ma by over 300 or so million cities na ibibisa Cathedral Bay and a sikap kakase not just a still na yantumi empija dino my wuse a dino any and a yam saki kena a dahonum. Now lawyer what can you say no they be a obacham stage because we say pre construction stage near what a year is it dressing and planning design and planning and a year budgeting estimation there who crowd the beggar but then the question is and then as a young who say a dying a picture and take this opportunity naturally cathedral near manke bebemuntia bepem na ibi bisa say ada na Jerusalem wall na propaganda ob throw out there no ada ni yentumi enhu bibia some bought into that
eti omo aye tie naturally so be si dan bia wonu me bia ye ya ansa na ye pegya dan no esi ho National Cathedral no so sanet etie said de ne isifate no na dan a esoronko aye ba besi nti na uhia architects ne consultants architect will be on the drawings no dan ye ba besi no obe draw ni nyina bi consultants no because of na you know so complicated chete ehun sem kan na ekwachire kakra no ti so onye obi a obe the focal point ono gine fifi na architect wo ye ni se mehwe ade na wa na ye consultant and say structure engineer okay ade na ye no me fe say ye we say so ye sa nyoma we nyina na koso awie ya draw nyoma ni nyina awie ya set bibie awie ya ye foundation no is 25 meters 25 meters can trim ya singe you need 25 meters down I concrete I said we see down why foundation awie so afi na we page walls and no na same way nyina be see it is some be see no enema wo mo meska omode bua na de esi Cathedral no ye ne se aban be meska ni bi na ye nso ye Christopher a benevolent societies ye person so nso meska aban de wa ne de ye o ma ni sika wa ma ni asase wa ma ni secretariat conform ye adwuma o ma ye paperwork ni ye no Cathedral no wa ye ne de awie na ye esi ye disika because it's some ye ti ye nti e bia ne so because 97 million de dollars na de ti ne Cathedral na 250 million and they see this year. So Noma we are costing $250 million.
Okay, dollars. Okay.
And you know, Noma na cost we buy in Yinano. You see, architect, consultant, structure engineer, bill of quantities, and in Noma Asiana Yene Dai Bubu and Sani Yababisi National Cathedral and Esiwolo. I say take about 40% of the value. Oh, check it to 40% of 250 million. Ultimately say, no kwasu papa, and I'm no kwasu eba. Nemum. The ama akes atwechi abechira ama for say swimming pool and ye politics na ba ya ye say grofu diska as they say obi who say sikade bi anko ba bia nti say nya sa de na ba since 2022 to aso akopensi we elections na to aso na anka ba na Cathedral kakakakra ne kese bi because kisikana na eba ne nkofo mama promise Abraham for Americans ne for no mo meskan no ma ye ready some be push scap abapa because our National Cathedral museum ne yi ne yesin ebi ni Africa how the first time ane ebi ba Africa hanu it nkofo bi ho they were very prepared some with sika ebeshem but eventually because of nyoma and after so where ya a do point be covered in the bear mukakra it and also stall the progress no I can say the covered by obi timi konko edma mutimi obi Nkansah you be actually them in nyoma and also stall the progress of the building of the National Cathedral and some be necessary here but they say the air can say elections ya yewie covered no so etwem say and the crown na betna table no so yenyai sansem ne kafa National Cathedral no ho anya no kra no na yenyai ready see dey sika beshem no ya fe sika beshem no yesimwie president aba where you 8 months ni aba yes we buy in chair there but president ba ko no ma seed money into so also we are because okay National Cathedral come here Christian National Cathedral me so seed money
hey no be ma seed money there say your dear bet to just say a year Auditor General Airbe Commission a year comprehensive forensic audit into our operations no also we cry here nonko Obeshana Attorney General and Minister for Justice taking legal steps to lawfully terminate the contract for the national project Cathedral project na fe so no wa say word w use into abisasa preventing further cost and losses to the state.
Well, me when he said
why can I say on one Capra Crown function?
Oh, they said the maker say he's been misrepresenting your mama and he's been misled by those of them who send information to him or the things that he have seen. It made them so push it back. He should go through it again and see whether a national cathedral in any country is a bad thing. whether it is a bad thing. If somebody has done something wrong, who's a member of the board or any member of government, punish the person. You can say, okay, Minister of Agriculture, why do you want Bonia? Not just a good Minister of Agriculture. But Minister, no, you have a and a bear. International President, see, National Cathedral no, on Ghana be National Cathedral, and that's a separate matter. Even that, a certain process must go through. Now, because Auditor General, there may be a problem because we're a company limited by guarantee. It's an extension of government extension. Who's the government, from opposition, no opposition be seen. They have militated, saying, Ebina walking kind. They have militated against the National Cathedral. I cannot tell you, so it's an extension of government. How can we trust him? Say you can come up with a auditor, right? Interpedia. Let us appoint an independent auditor from outside this jurisdiction. No never documents in manu. No onye. Oye we not so say this can here. Then we know what to do. But to go back to government for government officer to come up with something, me first say
Matemento wa de kakra na memra na afiyenhwe de mu hwehwe free eye time mufuo sisi because said you can know the National Cathedral must be built. Sana na no na lawyer actually mu say President Mahama into me enye saade no kan so be use asase no de ayi bibie bi obo de be ye dey but we behwe say no expectation they no mo hwehwe every because nanado what if lawyer and United say seed money na and also private so donate but from private individuals we are fine.
Oh yes, because
another one na already shame na moko US na funding no crown mo compare funding no mo ehun donation no ne hu crown ba but quickly last I forget Prophet the other who took US the US trip was it duly sanctioned?
Of course it was approved by the board. Occurred 21 times. He traveled 21 times. Most of it, most of it he paid himself.
Prophet Kusia.
Most of his travels he sponsored it himself. Because that is how much these people were into this cathedral building. They were prepared to sacrifice their own funds, their time, and the rest of it for it. And it is very painful. If I'm going to go and do all these things for government, for the benefit of the people, and I get criminalized unfairly, why should I do it? Until I see a stamp we down. Said the bear will be a person obey Jumama buying or bebua buying piano or the Kwaku Nejuma. Obey without any fear, say his name will be dragged into the mat or whatever. It's very necessary.
Very necessary. Why? Very, very necessary because President Mahama, yes, says Isudia, Obaye 10 legacy churches will see Ediama Assemblies of God Asafono, Sankenya Depa, and Ka Northern Regional, all see fully furnished too. Baku edu and a President Mahama SC Ediama Assemblies of God Church or by within 6 to 7 months no DSC yes died. Enti sorry the idea kasi yesia enti lawyer can propaganda and the ma do na most babamu ebuye na wo kenkan Bible na wo de wo contribute to a sorry die inshira ebe free ma ba enka yen say cathedral no afene se ewo ho ye serious so a emfa so be baso papa niema ewo edan num e bia lawyer ntubi ankomuntia niema ebeba cathedral no enyasem ketwa ena kowie yesi but mesaba eye lawyer in China Exodus Moringa and Dandelion capsules ko na kopebi echira kwan na obi a wanya hypertension anasa we hypertensive na wakwa kope eye Exodus Moringa and Dandelion capsules ebi na ebeboa papa ebua immune system no ama diabetic patients or die esichire yare omo mujabroso yare na wakope bi echira kwan wodi moringa de etumi moringa efri titio na moringa ye ka se wo use moringa de ye capsules abawa me dofupa ebeboa papa enti ko shop bia mu eye pharmacy ne herbal shop bia mu na ka se ope eye Exodus moringa and dandelion capsules number abetumi afresi so eye 0544 447 033 0544 447 033 and now to me after 0537 456 665 0537 456 665 o friend number is wa omo ebeje so da mu ebi ahoyan so omo akire oni obeye sanso da rock care clinic afro rock care clinic na dey medfagen capsules abi dwaso na medfagen capsules yes pains ye ka say wachi honom e kosa be producer otu honom onum eye medfagen capsules bi ebebo apa afi mu amoye athletes mun use eye medfagen capsules ni bi pa na ebeboa onipadua ama wo dompemu wapo so bibia ye adwuma kama ne ye friend arthritis wapo so aye treat unaya ye treat utumu se wo je ho anje kona kope medfagen capsules ni bi ekira kwan afi wo pese boja no so di umu efusane kama na wape medfagen capsules ekira kwan Kwaku capsules eye mema edru Kwaku capsules edono mema modie no ne ye wogye cure 442 edo eye ema edru from matrofo so number dey 0248 885040 0248 885040 and now to be a friend 0244 183230 0244 183230 na me crossover na me be call lawyer hono me kai wo say eye Akweniasa pharmacy wo pe baby ato eye nro your original wo pe baby ato edura enye fake eduro no de obetumi akọ pharmacy fake nro edura ye fake ibiku pharmacy ahuro mu but wo pe edura your original party afọ ani kire Akweniasa pharmacy omo ewo Askwa Millennium Plaza Abronsan no emu no omo asia hodoma unya dru Millennium Plaza abronsan mu a ewa Square asia hodoma na Akweniasa pharmacy ewo na wo ko hodoma otum se edro egu hodoma Nkansah enya me pedro we mi nibi me to we ibi kra ni ho ye de na afi na asada bi wo be ko no eho aboma ache se dro bia opebia no wonsa ebeka bi from ahomatrofo so number dey 0541 600 879 0541 600 879 o from so omo ebeje oso yetwa enkomo no so na nkomo yetwa so no na chesebe fa we enfam temia na beka se be ko na eye prostate capsules so no prostate enlargement edru titu mo mema no na se we be ma na didie ma obru infia duanan na wakwa kope prostate capsules nibi ekira kwan for prostate enlargement o Johnson tentamu to be Johnson kona kope edru ibi ekira kwan sanso na solac mixture edo no so ema no ubetumi ya yuso wahimfi odom ne ema nkoyi yusu bi fasiesi odom ema me white ne wokro de ba sanso ena zipman capsule emema edru eti we die tiawa and the weekend do akwakope zipman capsules the ab ekira kwan from ahomatrofo so prostate capsules solac mixture zipman capsules ubetumi from ahomatrofo so number no 0261 736263 0261 736263 and now bet me afraid Dr. Solomon Kofabai ewa homatrofo so the number here 0245 616 028 0245 616 028 lawyer yantu ankomo yiswe see say no as it stands watch there niemamu wonder etie wo fia na nka omo donations bank akaka no day now be catch no
make a chop say platforms no ho enya donations neje enti no say ya yetimi yi enokra na wo mu no adi no obi ehu say enya nokra se grofo ni disika bia na in fact sika na ye de ma omu nyina de mo de kakra na mo de call first no ene aban de de ba mo de aye adwuma no adwuma no ye in progress de nti amaka akire ne ye nti no me de me sere mo se sika na mo yi no Christendom e wo Ghana a mo nim se ye ne ye Christofo Cathedral yi siamai obia momodin send ye 10 cedi so 20 cedi so 15 cedi so 100 so my 1 million cedi try beje na ye fancy nwie because baby edru no edu ye so se Christians ye okrum ha ye bebuam ye si Cathedral because abai de why ne de awie na nado ansa na obefi power mu no why ne de awie why asase no de amai or the you know your friend is saying seed money na mai wakati secretary do waye the akase sika beba na ye dia koso atua contractors ne ka no mawi edan eno na aka nti obia wo ye Christian a wutie nsema akeka ka de say ya kire mu ache say I do action obia fa de sika kakra o de ba well once the crown na bitimi nya ebeboa Nakupon be shroud. Na nyoma bi na ekoso na egusu ekoso na amanfo aye tintinti. Amanfo aye tintinti no mo beso me enu. De bia me come station bia me ka bibi. Me se hwe asofo akuku dam na ko no ka bompaye. Na mo bompaye we Nakupon somu. So mo mpaye bo no se Cathedral ha o de na besi. Na so bi so me ye bibi ayi Nyankopon aye na so tutu mutu a ehun repercussions Bible mu severally yehu so be kai am am so mo ye Christopher mo kan Bible there sometime be David we see the city of David we na for move the ark of the covenant there called the city of David and when the David asa no was saw ark nanima or kom na natade pie na tade pa no ye neke na ne yere Micah Saul ba Micah to na sa we also here na no na neke de asama ma me ne kai no Nyankopon Bible say Nyankopon to ne mumbum ti ma me no wa ho what I say enti wo ya wo kasem fa Cathedral no wonim sasema ka na nya no kure ana wo ni facts no ana wo nya ya wo kadegu Cathedral no ho fi no a wo ye you know na nado say o si Cathedral ne de Nyankopon adan aye to say the David say o city of David not the ark no akọ the city of David and ni age no sanete wherever you want to see it Nyankopon kutem obi biara we get a hindrance between our national Cathedral way and the success no and the nyamba de mi ntinka on the nyame no bo wi ase but there has been many a times and kofa kabibi are affecting Nyankopon personally our reacting immediately. Why react immediately? Into movia muhusu ye. Cathedral no e wo siesi ye besi. Sa ban so onyi fasika nchema ndo nyae. Ye beka kopi sika. Ne dia betwa so. In fact sana nanado danko ekufu ado president. Sa no hihye no. Se baby eduru no e wo say ye na ye sika support to ne yesi. So far sika support to ayedi. It Mr. President. Me the make no. So government name get say massive money and all support to fine because another say from time to time government can give donations Nkansah by force but to go to the extent say person yet another thing let's just say how the nyama Nyankopon baby for na yema Nyankopon I think you'll be pushing it to a certain level or you can come back intermediate obia who say National Cathedral no a Christopher Christopher omo focal point ye nyina ye kasi ye ko national prayer ye nsori mu ne ye ko share baby ne abompai e ho ne be share abompai president ewu ana BBC a ho ne be deda no ne akoso Christo ne ho ne be deda ne akoso last time president bi owu ye atanos not yakonya so no wi e ne esi no ye se asumdwe park na mo de no koto ye enya ho na slaves here chichichi omo ne de omo fa okode asumdwe be na wo sanke wo National Cathedral anka ije president kwesi National Cathedral chi ku zoom ne body near the better.
And a home why ye be to me the bodies echo.
I said, oh my J Park.
Okay, make a cathedral no. And we use way by way of example. Oh, okay.
Say for dignitaries near ya, me use by example. And you know, I had the papa. And Yankopon ye na ye. And Yankopon na papa say, opposite we na ye. Now in writing, so no. Ghana is deemed to be a 73% Christians. Yeah. That's your near focal point there. And at last time I catch up for say, look, don't underestimate Christianity, Islam, and the religious societies now. This is a country that boasts of about, let's say, 40% or something unemployed. The question, how do they live? These people have held their fort because of they go to the churches and the pastors tell, oh, munyabutre. Brother me mom pay mount. Brother me say mount. So they living in hope. Say ebeye ye. It is the church. It is the mosque. It is the omo spiritualist omo juma ma omo ne yi. Obi o yare this ka kro de be kokoto. So far bompire me. So far bompire me mti me hu beto me. It is the spirituality of this country. A cut across. It is the essence of peace and tranquility in the country. Oh, be about Ghana, say Ghana is peaceful. And you're peaceful, say, I'm on for what Thomas how. Even die without food, even water. But because they believe, they have hope in God, until they stay back and relax. Let us not spoil it. Okay? Take here, who take Islamic. Now 7 churches. Christo churches 7 solid churches sa yanka bishops no yanka to say the national cathedral bay yanka and obi aya ne dia na we na be sa 87 churches in Nyinagu. So say 70 million of the population of Turkey are what? Muslims. 25,000 penny Christopher. A country that the whole church, there's 7 major churches were there. It is your man who kwaya. That is what will happen. That is what will happen. But if we have the focal point, this sure. Christo ni abe ye bibia ye koho. Mi me say mbese me kwa sorry fufuru bi na me fi se me asande me kwa sorry a. Se me kwa National Cathedral. Me kwa kotua me correction kakre bi maka kotra me fie. It in the matter. Let us not joke with it. It is something that God has held it. Now woe betide who go against it.
Now platforms, no. What kind of salvage to be announced platforms to be on? So what announce platforms be on between the donations that also. But even before that, most know with 73% or over 70% of a Christians, no. As I say, we are more yes and confirm say this guy. Most more call for na CCC abo pese mosa shena motion confirm Christ so donating. So maybe our churches be because
so much here. But it do point to be no. Now I am very difficult because of the propaganda and someone kosono. But say them can say now about out to say and no money a Kafa Cathedral no. It is time for the cathedral or a board to begin to vigorously look for funds because so far as I'm concerned, the reason why the cathedral is the way it is because funds are inflow to say they say flow. The BA ni wa stop my papa propaganda yeti. The cathedral must convene and then move accordingly. If a UBPA, not official person or dissolve board and answer or me and court, no coach record to say, if a cathedral might say, into them busy me good. Actually, make a but nothing is stopping them from moving as they should. Obviously, there will be a lot of antagonism. At some point in time, yet they say, on my account, you freeze your account. I don't know the kind of legal basis or freezing. But when I went into it, the banks are saying so at no point where the account's frozen at all.
Really?
Yes. At no point where the account frozen. In fact, Fidelity Banks, at no point was the account frozen at all. For ADB, the MNT or Monka, or Monsuna Momo, almost 49 million of the Momo payments were unsuccessful. 750 were successful. Macholet are come on.
There be a watch to be muy. I want to be muy. Asama okay.
Before say 750, almost 49 million Ghana cedis worth of Momo contributions fairly. It was unsuccessful.
Not just one year, so said by unsuccessful.
And I'm saying, I then wallet to wallet. It is a one hour monitor. Who came and do 49 answer? I got 1,000 now. It's mommy a year near 2 years. Germany do 49 answer. 49 million. 49 million Ghana cities. A cabana get the page walls to the crowd.
It's what one more.
Oh, me 200 na me can just me 200 mo ma tro mo letter. O ma ya info say me request to say me ne bank no MD ni be share. I need you can say a better particulars about what has happened, because if it has failed there, I am successful there. I am successful because to be me say ni mo enko na akwa tabe. Oh, to the mechanics. I that's on return near mommy. And that's on catch them. So, yeah, return your command because I'm not successful. You see, how was it unsuccessful? And because if we are going to continue in this area, I was here who said the system is perfect. It's in your baby. And in America, honorable of Sukachi, some of Koka, I'm saying, the detail the answer no come make is our commenting. Sometimes you need to apologize. There's nothing wrong with apologizing. Oh, I got it wrong, and I think this is the right position. Into the cathedral where it sits now, it can proceed. Enya na juma. Now be a man for sunye. I saw it in na city collection bono into bono mo de jomo de no ha na cathedral de no shekon ha into the 10 city to 105 cities akotwa ya jijini na
but ni na mo lawyer stay won kira mi otisi say obi be send bi announce donation no
I tell me nya no amo wo short code me kuta short code no ha
okay
mislead but me asend
any next time because e bia obi tie akana koma kra omo pese omo ma bibia na chese
website.
Yes, as I website, more structure be what I say ABA National Cathedral and Secretariat.
Oh yes, maybe I must say Tokoro. Secretariat no.
Okay.
And to be better drive there or yeah, because
I just more than be.
Yes.
I will be a structure.
I'm swimming pool.
Oh, okay. Kumase so office DBWA. Okay, alonga okay junction. Okay. And actually na chese ya hwe baby office no ewoyi na ye de atudwa. All right, lawyer, I think sir wakwadi mo actually chemu ye sorry wo de ebeja ahwefo. And somebody what can do on anti be a minute or two would they be wrap up
me das me the meka atwa to an say and send me a tete and anya no kre sisi ye no afikwa mu die and say ye hiamwa I the BC National Cathedral to be a account kuma I hope so a contribution now we are so be contribution because of a new maybe the went me anya no menya acquired them so be ye bit ye de yin beba no mo hu ya but who say uye bibi e hye Nyankopon nyonyama nyame ni renfi wachimba ani ufie da ensida bible mo obi a waye bibi ama Nyankopon bia no nyame ambe utimi ne Nyankopon peso bedi obi aka ntino so ma obema wa he obema embo bi shall men and women come and give unto your bosom. International Cathedral ne there edayekom a Christopher edayekom said the NST made them said to subium say aban ne there we aban wama asase no wama secretariat no and wama seed money akaya e be ye there yes ye Christopher no
na say crowdless cost no you say 97 akobusi say it still stands at be 250 million and Arabia maybe be change
you say the cost this mo am say be less because $250 million na from into new calculation into but around that
amuya dodo ananka because I dey wey dey buy cost on your cranka Christians I say you to be kukulusi
easily
I say you to be kukulusi
easily Christians come mutua every time on be share more collection no mutua 100 days for more your money abre ankaba na yesebi okay yes here so mo pa anya isa nye propaganda ni nyoma e koso a amanfo kuma say omo yo maje so mo push back anka ba na yes here anka grofo ye omo wuye anka ho ne ekode da wo mo ani esi omo heroes o to them come ye hia ma menka bibi so o da ka just na hiafo na say na de ntine wa hu krom ha say hiafo asalai ba chichi omusikada wa hu bida say hiafo asalai say omo nya adwuma unemployment for low income groups disability o masalai na ba omusikada enye sa ne ye hwe hiafo wo krom o hiafo no omo ye part owners of the land. It is a shareholder of company mu. Na se bia me adwuma na nya me nya adwuma ni bi. Na we adwuma na sika ba ye den. Se eche me nya me de. Enti they are part owners. Enti na was a government sees as okay, a budget here ye dey pay. Ya calculate who say grofo bi wo man ha, omo nya adwuma. Omo nya adwuma ya yanzo ya pere so say adwuma na bi ni ho na omo nya bia ye. Enti busumi bia no. Sika ye de be ma omo ni. No mo di ahwe omo say de be omo mokro no no mo yi. Eno ne ye de cable sa poverty lines no ne unemployment enye ade ese kwakoye kwan bi da ha ye kwan se de mafo be fa so die kwakoye ye 200 million so ye se kwade ko ba hia fo what be that ya nya nsa and the government is also government say hia fo de se de ko ma hia fo dia me so onto na nimu tuo na budget bi hu budget bi aye okrom ha ya twere be bi so unemployment fund ni ana disability fund ni ye nya bi da nti wa monya bi na omo so sika ne mo nye data ne hu bi onye employed bi abi otis oni ba bi tikura na your post office wo ha obekwa akwaje ne check wo ho asane enu abruche nyesa abruche omo nye sika na buruso because it is right so that you get peace in the country and crime goes down because ipa no papa yo tie se comedy no na so nim ba bi aduane fi ba ohu so bai nam kona ho na bag bi kitana e communal didn't ni refi say a crime obeka ko twe bag no mu ahwem so nya kakra wo mo di akwakoto dokuna di e kira sa na ba ko chineti na ono communal deny survival life and death no yes okay about to prison then beko e kira sa no mo say you didn't beko prison but is it fair that he is not employed, he hasn't got any source of revenue, government doesn't care. That's why you be to prison. It is the state that is churning out criminals because they have been put in a certain situation. WONTUMI live a life without committing crimes. In 2% cable crimes are the first thing is you meet them. You see housing head deficit 4 million. You was shelter. Kumasi a shelter ha. It go for in that street so. Adiasa. On the street to Nkran, Tamale, were all the capital cities. One was a shelter. No, it's no government in a catchy in such a social and welfare development. Time as so 68 years a baby. Almost started no money data no money in non-conform part owners, some shareholding. It's no National Cathedral. No, I was see yes. Na yebesi so. Yebesi so Charles Owusu Esquire. Lawyer for the National Cathedral. Openi yebedase. That's so meeting ban. Lawyer Charles Owusu and Joanna Charles Owusu Joanna and wote neneno na yebeda lawyer so ase na yatwa dwumadie no so enche no nsia bebona ye sorry dwumadie no so na ye sorry Joanna sempo ye sorry instruma pa aje le tabia herbal products colorful t-shirts na instruma pa atnase na yemana akwaba na tabia herbal products on a Friday evening. Instruma pa mema akwaba ya eja na hoye nyankopon adom me hoye pa na so ya me adom eda yesu ase yesu hoye what na say matna say yo and the tabia herbal products no
ne way na eko ba ku bi no ana wo kan nyina
bo na ene no me kasa fatabia herbal mixture no ho me hu se ene ma na eko fichi kro no mte ya opa bibri iti ene ho na me kasa fa ho na me litabia herbal mixture no me di evra Mr. Roy na mesne 0243686861 0243686861 and I say 0245749206 0245749206 Tabia herbal products ye any kofa by the Tabia Zanike no aba Tabia herbal capsules no Tabia takum the mabere may be a takum no and I am mother medicine Tabia herbal mixture no and the enemy free tete say a bibidra etimi a 3D malaria loss of appetite and a general body pains na ya adia ba ko Tabia herbal mixture no etimi di hu juma pa and they are say aya na e free no menstrual problem ne so etimi di hu juma pa etipa chawo ye oba na wutie me na se wuko fichi na oti yaw bebre bro yaw e wo se oti so a hyene so fama me say when your problem kakra wo menstrual cycle no ho a edro no ye Tabia herbal mixture no eno na wo se wotobi na ononom Mr. Onsaka Tabia herbal mixture na se de ye nom no e de treat malaria no sa e na obenom no won oto edro na e ya aseriketo no mienu anopa mienu awia mienu anwumre aseriketo no mienu anopa mienu awia mienu anwumre nka wo ebe ya no atwen 10 minutes what ya say ansa na wadidi ana refi ho na wadidi wi a watwen 10 minutes ansa na wanom Tabia herbal mixture no na keke me pacho ma me ne emani ni nkomo na me ma monte asese ade bebre ene koso ewo ye reproductive health na ye ni titu ema ofa ye de ni ejina ho a ene ma bebre ene koso wom na ansana oba o menses ni mu be ye problem no na nyama bebre edikan wom bibi ti say ovarian cyst se eba oba so a eno etimi ede wako fitri no ati ya bebre aba obi so ho a oblidi brosu bebre do nya ne menses me kama ba se de wo se ogu ne nsa no emoja ne ba bebre chain se wo se onya ne nso a eno nso eye problem ena obi so ho a ne de ne kra de se wo se ba this month no Beba all right, but if we say month di nyina ko ni nyina so na the next month no na akutwa na another month so na asako akutwa eba saa oba wutie mi a se etokoso toa so a na metimi aka se ebetimi a prevent okwan baby so ebema awo ho asem akoye din kakra dia ma anything na make am for dia ma say wo your ba na se wusi wonsa busu o start se wura o period moments time mu a na time a wo de start ye ni nyina no wo de calling kakra obi ho starting menses a or starting from 5 days kopim se obenyina kona ni mo obewura ne menopause mu no saa no de pekwa na je se wo healthy yi woni issue bia obi so ha was 34 days 5 days na etimitia na ba be 3 days na 3 days nso so abunimu na be 2 days e kwetimi bunimu a say 1 day pe na ade na aba na afei ubu ani guswa the problem bebre na beba ene typhoid fibroid je ema ebosu bebre na yarwa hodo anase blockages anase your menses problem bebre ayema yani nko ho no ena de sa fibroid no eba Mr. Me Tabia herbal mixture eye three di yare no because ye nubina hodo bebre ena Dr. Christian Akwesi Agimai wakika bomu a wodi aye aduro no eti Mr. Your ba na wutie mi because say ye nubina hodo bebre no ye wo edua bi wo mu a ebetimi abɔ ho ban e wo saa de animu na prevento se uko fichira wote ya bebre uko fichira emma no hunu so no ne nyina no Tabia herbal mixture no ebe here free kama e de amount ya na mess na 0243 686861 0243 686861 and I said 0245 749206 0245 74 9206 meka Emma ho asem a meka ne sei no mesro unim se wafa fura tabia heba mixture no me paacho enko ho unim se wafa fura tabia heba mixture no enko ho obi ho aye ka ne sei nso so obehunu se nsem a meka nyina na asem na meka but at the end of the day no be ko hospital be ko check no na ebia na wososo na ebia na ye furo ena wafa na ebia eno so menses ni mu yes with me friend paacho na minim se me menses na pa ho na minim se me nyim paacho tabia heba mixture no mesrem ani die mu saa ne ma ne de enya bi o paacho pa saa ne ma ne sam ka wate ase enya bi ye no fd mra no de ama ye na ni di so enti wo koto aduro na me so wo wafa afura mpese me kire oba pemfo ya chrogu hu kakraka ene kwa the call be nya yes almost tabia heba no baby ya chro caution be are not recommended for lactating mothers no any pregnant woman no any home pacho tabia dro bie no ho be pharmacy a obegina sa de ni bi no ho eno nko ade mesro on se medical ga se tabia ye di ehu ni san ni ekremu an ye di koyo enti mesro se wokoto aduro no na se wonim kinkan a enye ferie enye bibia fama wo neighbor sre no maninkan ho ma ebi a pharmacy ho na pharmacist no me pa cha de ni atwegu ho omo se menya ne sen omo se menum ne sen omo se menya ne sen bisa because o no maduro no akọ ni pagi anim enti se wo koto aduro na se wontimi kinkan ho a enye problem bia se obema obi onim kinkan ebe fro ebe hawo na wonya obi anso obekan ho amawa freye. That was 0243-686861. 0243-686861. And I said 0245-749206. And Kebeyi and Kawodie. Asamo amaking. Now baby ugusua uflo omense seba na wonye intwa brane de. Enke mata bia heba mixture ne mpa wo ho ofie. Osa ba akra wuti me no e mata bia heba mixture mpa ho e wo fie because e treat malaria no na e treat wanum ato e treat wa poso e treat o typhoid na afi obo ko fichi o ti yaw e free bibi say di daniel ho no mega just o wonya wo ba ko a e beko we de ayi bia me hu e na making came na me srepa o see doctor ka chem sa na ma make chem say me di daniel no nya wo ba ko beko ma what still I did na still I did not na cha say yare etu mu what you say eti mfa ne say oba wa wodie ni mu ho eti wo say pay do say tabia heba mixture now we started no all ba ko all mi no all mi ensa still I did Daniel na so ho a na che say ade I know ti eti wo say tabia heba mixture no na ononom na yi sa de ni free ho oba bi o sa time no boso mi ne so akobusa na asem kra nhwa se do besi aye no ho eni se do besi akasa ho na bia na obefili out kakra aya munya abotia ma o ne do sa time na de me bubo so nyina oba bi ho face bia ne dimi na sesa eti mesro ene de se de yani abra obi aye adwuma no obi o aboso mi bese kwaji se ye de ne koto hospital doctor chinchim no doctor de din se rewura ha enso nyankopon anhyehyɛ se enye sa o hyehyɛ se boso mi so a sa de fi no se woni be ma nkohyiam na efuro bi ama e wo sa fi no moja fi ni besne kɔ adenti na wo de ne de emma wako hospital so ne yanka sa wa fa efuro na emma na wo te ho eno ne san pacho e fa he sa question e wo so obusa ho afobo so o sa na se wafu ye kese wafu ase ho no e peja kakra se de mafu mi so amendidi anadwo me pa ocho o de yare ne ebre ho wonya tapia heba mixture ne bi na se wono no mo a etu sa de we ase nyina de free ho kama e de ma ene fibroid na etitata haba so no e de nyame adom tabia ne de e ho ane eti oti ye no se de ye fa ne se abele no atmosphere ti de bia no nyankopon adom you looking active very very active adom pa enom tabia no eti misra tabia nya dura se misra bibiduro ye na de bibidura be de adia edi adia petabia de binom misra wa pipe binom no num bi dine yese wo nsunum bi no sa wo age na wo so utimi num no kwa de a obetima anum tabia product no ama na yeye ene nkola ni nyina wo so onya duru 18 year mo kwa na menstrual problem ni wo mo so mo ene kwa na I don't think